I actually remember being pretty afraid to watch horror movies for a really long time, and it was until I watched the movie Disturbia, I might make a video. It was like I almost thought every movie was gonna scare me as much as Halloween did. Well, here's that video. Disturbia is a 2017 thriller directed by DJ Caruso. It stars a young Shia LaBeouf who's been put on house arrest. Boredom takes over, so he decides to start spying on his neighbors through his window in the back of the house. One night, he thinks he may have witnessed a crime, so with the help of his faithful companions, he begins to investigate. So should I talk about Rear Window? Yeah, I should probably talk about Rear Window. So Rear Window is an Alfred Hitchcock movie from 1954 that many, myself included, would consider one of the best thrillers ever made. It's about a photographer played by Jimmy Stewart who finds himself stuck at home with a broken leg. Boredom takes over, so he decides to begin spying on... Yeah, you see where this is going. There's absolutely no denying that the story of Disturbia is strikingly similar to that of Rear Window, and in fact, the copyright holders of the short story that Rear Window was based off of actually sued Paramount, DreamWorks, and Steven Spielberg. The judge actually ended up ruling in Spielberg's favor, saying that the movie had just enough subplots and differences to be considered as its own entity. In my opinion, I think this is one of those rare modernizations that really works and sets itself apart enough to not feel like a total ripoff. I'm not going to spend this video talking about all the similarities and differences between this movie and Rear Window. I'm sure that video's out there somewhere. I just want to talk a little bit about why Disturbia is one of my favorite teen thrillers ever. First and foremost, I want to talk about the oddly great cast. Shia leads with a pretty complex performance, and I think it still holds up pretty well. The movie rides this interesting line between a genuinely dramatic thriller and a teen romance comedy. That seems kind of odd, but I think Shia's performance is what holds everything together. He's emotional, but he's always fun to watch. Carrie-Anne Moss plays his mother, which just rules. They have great chemistry without having too much screen time, and they just end up feeling like a real mother and son. I actually learned that some of the scenes with Shia were totally improvised, including some with his mom. Pretty cool. David Morse is the creepy neighbor that Shia has suspicions about, and I love him in this movie. I grew up watching Green Mile on a loop, so he's always been a really good guy to me. Seeing the other side of him in this movie genuinely freaked 11-year-old me out, and it still does to this day. I don't know, just something about the way he carries himself. Apparently on set, he wouldn't even talk to any of the kids in the movie because he wanted to keep that feeling genuine, so they literally didn't talk to the dude till filming was a wrap. That's dedication. This is DJ Caruso's best film, and the pacing is a huge reason why. From start to finish, Disturbia is genuinely engaging, even when it's not focused on the cool crime stuff and focused on the teen romancy stuff. It all works because it all flows together. It feels natural, even if the writing doesn't feel like real life. Movies that only truly work as movies are pretty much my favorite thing, and I think this is a great example of that. Don't get me wrong, this is Caruso's film. I get that. Major decisions like improvisation, showing reactions instead of gore, music, all of those choices were him, and he did a great job directing. But upon doing a little research, I found out that as producer, Spielberg actually flexed his powers a little bit and had some influence on the film. A couple cool little side plot moments were his idea, and he even was the one who insisted that Shia audition right away for this role. He saw him in Holes and loved him, so he thought he'd be great for this. And after this, he thought, you know what he'd be great in? Indiana Jones. And I might be a minority here, but I loved him in Indiana Jones. It's actually kind of funny when you think about it because apparently Shia badmouthed him pretty bad a few years later. I guess he just wasn't a fan of working on his sets. So that's it. My argument for why Disturbia rocks. Is it trying to be another Hitchcock classic? No, I don't think so. It's just trying to be a fun movie to watch. And it is. I'd throw this on between Mr. and Mrs. Smith and Zathura with all my friends and a fridge full of root beer. I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you haven't seen Disturbia, I hope you give it a chance soon. Thanks for subscribing, and as always, keep watching movies.